Krishna Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale
Hare
Srimate
Krishna
Bhagavate
Prabhuji.
Gita Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
This is how we eat.
So today onwards we'll start with the Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 verse by verse we'll start, and we'll how we are going to take it, we'll chant the verse. All of you can repeat that verse, and after that once or twice you can also chant the verse. So I'll share my screen. Bhagavad Gita I'll share. Here is the Bhagavad Gita. Hope it is visible to you. So first chapter is observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. This chapter has various sections. First section starts from verse 1 to verse 13, preparation of war, or Dhrtarastra's question or Sanjaya's answer. That is the name of the first section. So all of you can repeat. Dhrtarastra uvacha dharmashetre kurukshetre samavetayoyutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kim akurvata sanjaya. Anyone of you would like to chant the shloka?
Yes,
Or
Prabhu.
try this chant?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Dhrtarastra uvacha dharma chetre kurukshetre samvetaayuyutsava mamaka pandavaschaiva kim akurvat sanjaya.
Someone else would like to try?
धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत सञ्जय.
So we'll read the translation. Dhrtarashtra said of Sanjaya after assembling in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, what did my sons and sons of Pandu do, being desirous to fight? So very wonderful thing is there. Like Bhagavad Gita, as we understood, it is a song sang by the Lord Bhagwan himself. So if we see, the first verse itself is starting from Dhrtarashtra, not from Krishna. So this is very interesting to know how this Dhrtarashtra, from Dhrtarashtra it is starting. So this Bhagavad Gita has been divided into 3 sections or 3 parts: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And this Bhagavad Gita is confidential knowledge. And this confidential knowledge has 3 levels. One is Guhya. Guhya means it is confidential. Second comes Guhyatara. Guhyatara means more confidential. And third comes is Guhyatamam. Guhyatamam means it's most confidential. So there are various chapters which has been described as a confidential, more confidential, and most confidential knowledge. So in entire Bhagavad Gita, Dhrtarashtra, this is the only shloka that Dhrtarashtra has spoken. Rest all shlokas are spoken by Lord Krishna, then Arjuna, then Sanjaya. Lord Krishna, he spoke approx exactly 574 shlokas. Arjuna spoke 84 shlokas and Sanjay spoke 41 shlokas in the Bhagavad Gita. All sum up to 700, right? So this question of Dhrtarashtra is also, in a way, it looks very foolish question. Just like suppose you have been invited by your friend to a nice restaurant and he has ordered very nice palatable dishes for you, and both of you are sitting, both of you have your own choice or dishes are there, has been served. Now third person is asking, now after serving of these dishes, what are you doing? So it's very obvious, we'll eat that dish, right? So Dhrtarashtra is asking what they are doing after assembling on the battlefield of कुरुक्षेत्र. कुरुक्षेत्र में एकत्रित होने के बाद वो क्या कर रहे हैं? He is asking Sanjaya. So from this, one very important thing we have to understand. It, especially this point of asking Dhrtarashtra's question, plays a very important role, which highlights his character as a king, what kind of character he is having as a king, and what kind of his nature or inclination is there towards his sons and sons of Pandu. And another thing is what kind of anxiety he is having. This enquiry reflects about his anxiety. So this Dharma Kshetra, this Kurukshetra has been referred as a Dharma Kshetra. So he is doubtful about that on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is Dharma Kshetra, it is a holy place and Krishna is also present, and these Pandavas, they are virtuous by nature. They are virtuous by nature. So are they desiring to fight, or whether they have changed their mind? Like that he is asking Sanjaya. Because these Pandavas are virtuous and this Dharma Kshetra, this Kurukshetra is Dharma Kshetra, is a holy place. So this holy place has made some influence on the Pandavas. Their mind has changed. They are ready to fight. They are willing to fight, or what has happened? Like that Dhrtarashtra is asking. And second thing is, Dhrtarashtra here, he address his son as the Kurus. Kuru Maharaj comes in the dynasty we heard in earlier session in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. Kuru Maharaj comes in this same dynasty, and in that dynasty, because of that, this Dhrtarashtra and Pandu, they were known as Kaurava or Kurus. And especially Dhrtarashtra is addressing his son only as a Kuru and segregating son of Pandu as a Pandavas. He is making this differentiation. He is making this differentiation because he is envious and he wants his son should get the kingdom. They should get the kingdom. Because of that, he is addressing his son as a Kuru. So this is very important to understand. The material world is always like this. Like each and every one of us have some kind of enviousness. Always it is there. And Dhrtarashtra is also showing this enviousness. He being the king, he should be having the ideal character. Free from Matsarana. Matsarana means enviousness. Spiritual world is complete from jealousy, enviousness, all these things. Whereas this material world is full of enviousness. Each one, like people in general, they are envious if somebody, their colleague or somebody is making progress. They get envious. In same way, this Dhrtarastra, he got envious of Pandus, how they can get the kingdom, right? So that is one thing. And here one more thing is there. He is feeling fearful because of presence of the Krishna and this Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, on which battle is going to happen. Because by nature they are very virtuous. They are very virtuous. So in the purport, very nice point has been mentioned. How to approach or understand Bhagavad Gita. How to approach and understand Bhagavad Gita. So very nice thing Prabhupada has mentioned. If someone is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita, if someone is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita, if someone is very fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita in that line of disciplic succession, without motivated interpretation, then he can surpass all Vedic wisdom, all the scriptures of the world. In our last session, we understood about the intention of the Bhagavad Gita, how we can understand the intention of the Bhagavad Gita. In this, it is mentioned, if somebody is fortunate enough to understand the Bhagavad Gita in that disciplic succession, in that parampara, because in parampara, the intention that Krishna wants to pass on is also properly understood. Is also properly understood. So same way, if somebody understand in this way, he can surpass all studies of Vedic wisdom. In other words, there is no need of going through the entire Vedas. As Krishna says, Vedasya sarvair aham eva vedya. From all the Vedas, I am to be known. I am to be. So very nice. This point has been mentioned in the purport regarding how one should approach Bhagavad Gita, and significance of Bhagavad Gita is also given. Like entire scriptures can be understood, entire Vedic wisdom can be understood through this disciplic succession. If somebody is now, why this war has been arranged at the battlefield of Kurukshetra, not some other place? Why only Kurukshetra? Because this Kurukshetra is a holy place. It is a holy place where all the demigods, various demigods, kings, they used to come and offer their prayers, perform the rituals, worship, all these things they used to do. And another reason of Kurukshetra being called as the Dharmashetra is because Krishna, he himself was present there. He himself was present there. Right? Now, for any activity to happen, Krishna explains further in Bhagavad Gita, play a very important role. And this war is not an ordinary war. This war is arranged to establish the religious principle, to establish the dharma. For that purpose, this war is arranged. And this Kurukshetra is the Dharma Kshetra. And this war is also arranged to establish dharma. And that is the reason this place has been chosen. Just like for an example, now if some disputes happen, we approach to court. Different levels of judiciaries are there: district court, high court, supreme court, and he approaches those court to get the justice. And in the ancient time, people, they used to approach the saintly person, a brahmana, a qualified brahmana. They used to go to temple to get the justice, to understand what is right, what is wrong. So same way, this war is also arranged on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, on the holy land of Kurukshetra. Same way it has been arranged. Just like Christians also, they go to church for the confessions. I have done so and so thing. So from the beginning of the creation itself, this religious place were meant to atone, meant to accept or confess, or to perform the austerities. Now, there is one more very important point here. Sanjaya, he got the chance to witness this war. Dhrtarastra is asking Sanjaya, so what exactly happened? Vyasadeva, he arrived in the assembly of the Dhrtarashtra, and because Vyasadeva, he is Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya. This Vyasadeva is none other than Lord Vishnu himself. So he is a Trikal Yagni, he is the knower of everything, he is the knower of past, present, future. So he knows this war is not an ordinary war, and this war is happening to establish the religious principle. So Vyasadeva arrives and offer his benediction to Dhrtarashtra that I want to bless you with the divine vision so that you can envision the battlefield of Kurukshetra. You can witness this war. But what Dhrtarashtra says, I cannot bear such a scene. Better you give this to Sanjaya. And Sanjaya, who is Sanjaya? Sanjaya is disciple, Shishya of Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva very happily bless him with the divine vision, Divya Chakshu. And what kind of Divya Chakshu this Vyasadeva has blessed? Not only he can see what is happening in the entire battlefield of Kurukshetra, that is not only one thing he blessed. This Divya Chakshu, with that he can hear whatever conversation is going on throughout the battlefield of Kurukshetra. In nook and corner of Kurukshetra, what is happening, what discussion is going on, what kind of conversation is going on, all kind of sounds he can hear very easily. And there is one more thing. First is he can see, second is he can hear, third thing is very important, that Sanjay has been blessed, and that is he can understand what is going in others' mind. What is going in the mind of Duryodhana, what is going in the mind of Pandava, what is going in the mind of other warriors in the battlefield, he can very easily understand. That kind of divine vision Vyasadeva gave him. That is Divya Chakshu. So if we see, there is one very nice pastime in this connection. Once there was this Brahaspati Muni, and he used to visit Indra, who is the king of demigods, all the devtas. He used to visit regularly to enlighten him. And Sachi Devi, he was sitting with Sachi Devi, who is the wife of Indra, and he was, surrounded by various demigods, devtas, siddhas, gandharvas, and all of them are praising this Indra. And when this Brahaspati Muni, he arrived in the assembly of Indra, Indra didn't give him a respect. He forgot to offer respect, and he was so much absorbed in his material opulence, he forgot to offer his respects to the Brahaspati Muni, who is the spiritual master of Devtas or demigods. So Brahaspati Muni, he understood that Indra has been puffed up, he is full of pride, and has been, blinded by his material opulence. He immediately left that place, and he went away. And Indra, meantime, he understood his mistake. He realized what kind of offense he has done. And all the demigods, Indra, everyone is searching for Brahaspati Muni, but they are not able to find him. And this Rakshasas, demons, they were worshipping Shukracharya with full awe and reverence, with full rules and regulation. They were worshipping this Shukracharya. Shukracharya is the spiritual master guru of the Rakshasas or demons. So what happened? These Rakshasas, they fought with, they attacked these demigods. Rakshasas, they attacked the Devtas. And surprisingly, these Devtas, they lose the battle. They lost the battle. And when they lost the battle, Devtas, they approached Brahma and narrated the entire scenario, that how it is possible that we have defeated from these Rakshasas. Brahma chastised them. You have offended your spiritual master, Brahaspati Muni, who came to enlighten you. And on contrary, these demons, these Rakshasas, they worship their spiritual master like anything. They followed his instruction. So they have become much more powerful than you, even though they are Rakshasas. And you have offended Brahaspati Muni. Now you have lost all the powers. So Brahma, he recommends them the remedy, how to win. But the point here is, just like Sanjaya, his spiritual master, his guru was Vyasadeva. And being pleased by the Sanjaya, Vyasadeva blessed him with the divine Chakshu. And one more point here to understand or learn is, the saintly people or the sages, they visit people or somebody, grasta, or people in general, to enlighten them. They visit to enlighten them, not for some material enjoyment, just like Brahaspati Muni. He was visiting them to, visiting all these demigods to, devtas to enlighten. He didn't has any personal motive. Whereas we think, oh, he's coming so regularly. We develop some familiarity. Just like Dhrtarastra. Dhrtarastra, he was so much, full of this material, blinded. He was materially blinded. He was a blinder, and top of that, he was so much blind by all the material opulence that he was forsaken the mercy of the Vyasadeva. Didn't recognize, he could not get that mercy of the Vyasadeva. Scripture says, Om Agyana Trimandasya Gyananjala Shlakya Chakshuramilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. That we, as a Jiva, we have been born in the ignorance. We don't have any knowledge when we born. But a spiritual master, he opens the eyes with the torch of knowledge. So same way, this Vyasadeva has opened the eyes of Sanjaya. How? Because Vyasadeva is well aware that this war is going to establish religious principle, and this war is going to give Bhagavad Gita to the entire world, to enlighten. And after hearing Bhagavad Gita, what Sanjay is telling, what Sanjay is experiencing, Sanjay is telling, thus I have understood, thus I have heard the conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna. And so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on the end. At the end of Bhagavad Gita, he is telling, after hearing this message, I am so excited that my hairs are standing on my ends. Just like we get goosebumps, right? When we get excited or when we are so happy, when we are so joyful. Same way, Sanjay is experiencing. So, in a way, this is like litmus test also for us. When we read Bhagavad Gita, how we are feeling. And further, Sanjay is saying, what he is telling, by the mercy of Vyasa, I have heard these most confidential talks directly from the master of mysticism, Yogeshwara Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna. He's telling, by the mercy of Vyasa, I have understood. I got this opportunity. So, spiritual master Guru, he has a duty to enlighten. He comes to enlighten us. Just like Prabhupada, he gave this Bhagavad Gita in English to the entire world. Now, after reading this Bhagavad Gita, people from the entire world, they are accepting Krishna consciousness. They are becoming devotees. They're chanting Lord's name. If you visit Vrindavan, lot of foreigners you will see throughout the world. Lot of temples was open. Lot of people, they left bad habits and they started chanting the holy name. And further, Sanjay is saying one more thing. O king, he is addressing the Dhrtarastra. O king, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. At every moment, each and every moment, I am enjoying, I am getting the thrill after hearing this conversation. Then further he is saying, O king, when I remember the wonderful form of Krishna, I struck with great wonder and I rejoice again and again. So after hearing Bhagavad Gita, what he is feeling, he is rejoicing, he is enjoying. He is full of ananda. Same way, when we read Bhagavad Gita, we'll also get, if we have understood Bhagavad Gita properly, we'll also feel the same. If we have get that intention, we'll also feel the goosebump, we'll also feel thrilled, and will be liking to hear Bhagavad Gita again and again. We'll like to read Bhagavad Gita again and again. So that is a very important thing to understand here, that Sanjaya has been blessed by Vyasa because Sanjaya is the disciple of Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva especially he visited Dhrtarastra to enlighten him because he was aware that this war is not an ordinary war. This war is to establish the dharma. To enlighten him, he visited him, he wanted to give. But he being so much enormed or so much absorbed in the material opulence, he could not understand and he denied. So we should try in our life, such position or such situation should not come to us. And always we should pray to Krishna that whenever there is an opportunity, we should get the association of the sadhus. By that will help us to progress. And there is one more thing at the end of the purport, very nice analogy. What is that? Just like on the paddy field, yeah, here it is. In the paddy field, the unnecessary plants are taken out. So it is expected from the very beginning of these topics that in the religious field of Kurukshetra, where the father of religion, Shri Krishna, was present, the unwanted plants like Dhrtarastra, sons of Duryodhana, and others will be wiped out, and the thoroughly religious persons headed by Yudhishthira would be established by the Lord. Just like on the paddy field, there is a crop is there, and there are some unwanted plants. Weeds are has also grown up. So a good farmer, what he does, he takes out those weeds. He is always conscious. He is always, taking care of his crop very nicely by removing the weeds regularly. So same way, Krishna, he has appeared to remove these weeds. And who are those weeds? Here it is addressed as son of Dhrtarastra, Duryodhana, and others will be wiped out thoroughly. They will be wiped out. So very nice analogy is given here. And who is that farmer? Krishna himself was present, and the unwanted plants like the Dhrashtra's son will be wiped out. And what is that field? This field is Kurukshetra. So with this, we'll end today's class. If anyone has any comment, any question, or anything to share, please share. Yes. Anything is there? So we'll start with the chanting.
प्रभु जी क्वेश्चन ये है, ये राष्ट्र से ही क्यों हुआ पहला वर्ष भगवद गीता का, जो आप थोड़ी देर पहले बोल भी रहे थे?
Correct. This Bhagavad Gita has been spoken. Bhagavad Gita means the song is spoken by the Lord. So why Dhrtarastra? It started why from Dhrtarastra. So the thing is, first of all, it's very important to understand the background of the Bhagavad Gita. And if you see the entire first chapter, Krishna has not even spoken single verse. He has not started even speaking. So if you see, to understand Bhagavad Gita, it is very important. One should know the background of the Bhagavad Gita, that is Mahabharata. And to understand Mahabharata, one should know at least what is there in the Vedas. One should know the background of the Mahabharata or the Vedas. Because the essence of the Vedas is this Mahabharata, and the essence of this Mahabharata is Bhagavad Gita. And this particular verse, Enquiry of the Dhrtarastra, it establishes that context of the Bhagavad Gita. Establish that context. This entire first chapter, if you see, establishes the context of Bhagavad Gita. If we are not able to understand that context of Bhagavad Gita, what will happen? We'll not able to appreciate Bhagavad Gita, or will not able to understand Bhagavad Gita properly. Just like Arjuna, he shares his grief. He shares various reasons not to fight. We are not aware what is the context going there. We will not be able to understand Bhagavad Gita. Or more than that, we will not be able to implement those teachings in our life. Not be able to implement those teachings in our day-to-day life. So that's why it's very important to understand the Bhagavad Gita context, Bhagavad Gita background, and this particularly Enquiry of Dhrtarastra plays a very important role in setting up the context. Dhrtarastra is inquiring, and it also helps us to understand how this mercy or the blessing of the spiritual master is very important in our life to understand this message of Bhagavad Gita. Just like Dhrtarashtra, after hearing from the Sanjaya, he didn't express his joy as Sanjaya was expressing, because he was blinded by the material opulence. He was so much enamored or absorbed in the material opulence, he was not able to even understand the proper message of Bhagavad Gita. Whereas Sanjaya, he understood not only the message, he is appreciating and he is rejoicing every moment. So he has understood that Bhagavad Gita in toto, in proper intention, with proper intention, what Krishna has conveyed. So, hope this answers your question.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other question? Okay, so we'll start with the chanting.
One question, Prabhuji,
Anji.
Dakshi this side.
Anji.
I wanted to know from you, is it necessary to parallelly read the Mahabharata also to understand the context in propos?
Mataji, the way these sessions I am taking,
Hmm.
it is this itself is mostly I am trying to cover everything. It is sufficient. And the thing is with Mahabharata, it's very vast, and a lot of to understand Mahabharata, a lot of things are required to one should understand in detail. And the thing is about Mahabharata, a lot of versions of Mahabharata are there. In that also very difficult, which one is right, which one is this thing. And Mahabharata is very vast also again, because Mahabharata has 1 lakh verses, entire Mahabharata. And this Bhagavad Gita has only 700 verses. And this Bhagavad Gita itself is sufficient, is the essence of the Mahabharata. There are 2 essence of the Mahabharata. One is this Bhagavad Gita, and there is one more essence of Mahabharata, that is Vishnu Sahasranama, which was offered by Bhishma, the 1,000 names that he chanted for the Lord when he was on the arrow bed. So these 2 are the essence of the Mahabharata, and these 2 are the essence of the entire scriptures. This Vishnu Sahasranama, it comes in Vedas also, but it comes as a Guhya, means it is in hidden form. 1 line means 1 word of Vishnu Sahasranama. Like that it is. 1 line is 1 name of Vishnu. Like that it has come in the Vedas also. So Mahabharata, it has come very, you can say directly it has come. Or yes, after reading Bhagavad Gita, you can once start with Mahabharata also. You will understand Mahabharata in much more detail. Because Mahabharata is Itihasa, it covers the history of incidents. And in that portion, this Bhagavad Gita is there. So those history and background, I have covered most of the background or history what is required. I have covered in the earlier sessions already. And as and when some topics will come or some verses are there, I'll elaborate all those topics also.
Okay, understood. Thank you. So it is not necessary right now to understand what you are saying. We will gradually, once we are able to grasp this, maybe. Okay, thank you.
And I'll share Mahabharata also with you.
Yeah. We'll be interested. Okay. Very nicely you are progressing. Very happy. Okay. Thank you.
So today, 2 important thing we learned. One thing was how this shloka especially set the context, because this Dharma Kshetra is the place where this Dharma Yuddha is going to happen, and the religion or religious principle will be established. How later on the minds, this Dharma Kshetra influences the Pandavas also, especially Arjuna. That also set up the context in this Bhagavad Gita. We'll understand. Second thing is, just like Vyasadeva, he came to enlighten Dhrtarastra and Sanjaya. Same way, saintly people, just like Prabhupada, he went to the Western countries not to gratify his senses, not to adopt some Western culture. He went there to give this culture to the people, to enlighten them, to give this knowledge or wisdom to the entire world. For that purpose, he went. Before Prabhupada, lot of swamis, lot of sages, they went. But what happened? They transformed themselves. They became westernized, Western. Rather than influencing Westerners, they become Westerners. So that is a important thing to learn. A self-realized soul or a saintly person, he visits to enlighten us. He has no other motto or intention to visit somebody. Okay, so anyone has anything? Question? So we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
जय
Okay, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
Hare
हरे
Hare.
राम राम राम
Ram
हरे
Ram
हरे
Ram Hare Hare.